First of all, I'm very happy to say that we are continue to be resilient in a weaker markets, and based on that we can continue to execute on our strategy. Then secondly, as we said, then we are starting to see the positive revenue drivers now coming with LME aluminium prices trending upwards since the late first quarter, and also physical aluminium prices in the US and in Europe also improving. So overall, yes, the quarter we see that we are hit by weaker market, especially in building and construction and partly also automotive. But the revenue drivers are now increasing upwards.
To what extent is the macro starting to turn around, and are you seeing that in your numbers? Because we're looking at the PMIs yesterday, and to me it looked like manufacturing in a lot of cases are still stuck in the doldrums. Is there any sign of life as far as you're concerned?
Yes, I think we see that the market now is flattening out at least, and everyone is of course waiting for lower interest rates and the economic sentiment to improve second half. But at least we see that the core markets, for example, building and construction, is flattening out now, and that sort of improves the sentiment.
You're in pretty much a catch-22 environment. Karen has just pointed towards it, of course, lower aluminium sales, etc. as well. Costs also impacting the business. You have demand ultimately easing. Power and energy requirements perhaps stabilizing somewhat. Supply chain issues, while still visible, aren't as drastic as initially thought. EV demand, however, that's rising a little bit lower than initial. How do you push on in this environment?
Thus, I think that the long-term drive, if you talk about EV demand, is definitely increasing globally. This quarter, we see a lower EV production, especially in Europe. And I think one of the main explanations is that Germany decided to cut the subsidies to balance the budget late last year. And that is hitting EV production in Europe and then also influencing our production. We are supplying to the EV manufacturers in Europe, and that also influences our volumes. But longer term, I definitely think this trend will continue positively.
So you still see that, I mean, for example, Germany and some of the others actually ramping up with regards to wanting to get EV back on track? Because it feels as though the demand has gone down because regulation has also dropped off, with consumers perhaps also not being able to afford all of these high-end vehicles in that space.
Well, overall, I mean, automotive sales in Europe is still growing. It's growing by more than 4% in first quarter compared to first quarter last year. So the growth is there. But I mean, the whole green transition will not be sort of a straight line improvement. There will be sort of back and forth along the way. But I think the long-term trend is there, and we definitely see that the premium brands are continuing to invest and entering into agreements. So I think we will see the growth coming back.